Hello everybody, my name is Sophal. Welcome back to Creative Software Tutorial. And as you can see on your screen right here, happy early Halloween. I decided to do, Halloween a little bit early this year. Knowing that because of the pandemic that's going on, I don't think anybody's going to be going out there trick-or-treating, and most likely I hope people don't go because I'm definitely not going because, it's not safe out there, especially for kids. They can be passing on to their, parents and their family members, and that's not good. Okay, so we want to stay safe, and I thought I would do fun things so people who are going to be at their home, if they're going to watch a YouTube video of Halloween 2020. So this is it. Okay, so as you can see right here, I have the word trick or treat right here, and I was able to add the image in between these texts and have it pop out, and it looks pretty amazing. So yeah, so without further ado, we are just going to talk a little bit about the channel real quick. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. And if you find any value at all in my work, at the very least, click on the like button. Or if you have finished watching the video, um, go ahead and pause the video real quick so it doesn't go to another random video. So you can actually like it or dislike it. So it's good for the YouTube algorithm and it grows the channel. It really does help a lot because I do put in a lot of work into this project right here, and just even coming up with the thumbnail. The thumbnail in itself, I've already done it once. I'm gonna have to do it again, explain everything, and I hope you find value in my work. So we are just gonna get started, okay? All right. So the very first thing you want to do, everything that I have in here, they're all in the description below, and they're totally free to use. They're all from Flickr. You just have to give the right license to everything. I have everything in here. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Okay. So I'm just gonna close everything out from here. We're gonna start from scratch. Okay, so yeah, so I already have this image open and everything. I'm gonna close out of this one so we can start from scratch. Very first thing you want to do, you want to just go to new, and this one you want this to be 1280 by 720. So this is the right size for the YouTube thumbnail. So that's why I have that. And if yours is not already like that, go ahead and do that, and then you can just pick any custom color you want. Since it's Halloween, I'm gonna go with orange, and then we're gonna click create. Okay. So we have this thing right here. Now we're going to have to just put our word in, okay? So we go to text, and you want to right click on it and click on horizontal, the first one, and just drag it over and just type your letter. Okay, we're going to type in trick. Oops. Hold Control A to select all, and then trick, T-R-I-C-K, or treat. I'm just going to make the second one capital also. As you can see, it's very hard to see because it's pink right now. So we're gonna left click, hold, and drag it to highlight it, and we're gonna change it to white. Okay, so there you have it. And we are going to drag it out a little bit. The reason why you want to do that is because when we expand it, it's gonna look a lot better. Okay, so now we're gonna click on the check mark. I like it, and now I'm gonna free transform by holding Control, CTRL, and then T, and we're gonna have this box right here, and we are going to left click, hold, and drag it out. I want it to be centered a little bit, just like that. And if you are using the latest Photoshop also, like Photoshop 2020 like myself, they did make some changes. The new changes is you have to hold shift and drag it in order to make it not proportional. In this case, I want it not to be proportional because if I don't hold the shift down, it's going to stay proportional. It's going to be too big. I want to just drag it out. So I'm just going to hold the shift button and left click, hold, and drag, just like so. And yeah, I think this is a little bit bigger than the thumbnail. We'll just keep it like that. I think it looks nice. Maybe a little bit smaller. Just like that. Perfect. And there you have it. So you have trick or treat. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to bring in your image. And when you first bring your image, you have to unlock it. There should be like a lock key right there. So you can just click on it and it's going to unlock it. And now you can actually click on the move tool, and then you can left click, hold, and drag. If you've never seen this done before, it can look a little bit strange, but if you've seen my other videos, you know I do this a lot. So you're just gonna left click, hold, and drag it to the other title, and once you hover over it, it's gonna automatically change to the other one. You drag it down, you'll see the plus sign on there, and you can release it anywhere. Depending on the image quality that you have, it might be low or it might be high. So in this case, it's very large, meaning that the picture quality is really high. So I'm going to make it a lot smaller. We're going to hold the Control T button, and we're going to left click, hold, and drag it to the bottom right, so I can actually resize it. Okay, so it's too large right now. So just going to do that. Okay, so now I am going to go to one of the corners until I see the double arrows. We're going to left click, hold, and drag it down. And again, if this is too fast for you, you can always just, slow the video down or speed it up if it's too slow for you. I don't know, everybody's different. So I'm going to keep on doing it. And now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to left click, hold, and drag it up here. I'm going to drag it down just like so. And then drag it back up. And now I'm going to size it down. Double arrows, size it down until we get to the right size. Okay, so almost there. So now that we're super close, we want it to be precise. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come down here because layer one is already highlighted. We are going to go to the opacity is at 100 right now. We're going to go to around like 50 or so. As you can see, you can actually see both of them. So now you don't have to guess anymore. You can actually uh, just drag it, make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to make it not proportional, so I'm going to hold the shift button and then I am going to drag it out a little bit. So I think it looks a lot nicer like that to make it fit. So this man's not out of frame. Okay, so I'm gonna we don't want it to be out of frame. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna hold the shift button and then I'm gonna drag it out a little bit more so nothing's out of frame. Perfect. I think this looks really nice. Okay, so once you like it, you can click on the check mark right there. And once that's all done, you're gonna right click right here on the layer one image and you are going to click create a clipping mask. And if done right, you should be able to see this where it's like hidden behind in there. So the opacity is still at 51%. We're gonna give it back to 100. As you can see, it's super clear. So what that did was it put the image in the background of that text. And we are going to create a copy of this one by left click, hold, and drag it to this plus sign with the square around it. And we are going to immediately right click on it and we are going to release the clipping mask. Okay. So once we release the clipping mask, it's going to be back to normal. But this time, from the new copy layer, we're going to drag it to about 50% opacity also. And the first one is still at 100, so you can see the difference, okay? And our goal right here is to basically select the areas where we want to pop out. So I just want to select this area, him, and then her, and then him, and then this bottom portion right here too. So we are going to right click. We're going to click quick selection tool. We're going to start with this man right here, okay? So as you can see, my brush is super small, and you can see your right side bracket and left side bracket. The right side on bracket of your keyboard, it will make the brush bigger. So because the man is quite big, I'm going to make it big. So we're going to start with just selecting him. And you just want to select as much of him as possible in here. And you want to stay away from the letters right here, okay? So because or else they're going to be lumped together and it won't look as nice. So if it's highlighting the areas you still don't want, you don't need to worry too much about it. We're going to fix it later. So our goal right now is to highlight the areas that we would like to pop out, like this woman right here and his shoe. So I'm just going to make sure that we got all of her right there. So we're going to zoom in a little bit because she's kind of small. We're going to hold the control button down. We're going to tap the plus sign because we want this to look as nice as possible, like right here. I'm going to click on the left bracket to make it a bit smaller so we can actually precisely get down her face right here. And then, oops, you see, it's like, yeah. And then her clothing part right here, her hand, very important. Perfect. And then we're going to go to the little girl. We're going to come down here. We're going to start with the shoes, just like so. And again, our whole goal right now is just highlight the areas that we want, the areas that we don't want. Don't worry too much about it for now. Okay, so now we are going to focus on the areas where we do not want. This is part of her. That's a stair. Okay, so we're going to hold the Alt button down. We're going to take away that stair section right there. Perfect, and then this little stair section right here. Okay, and then we're going to drag all the way over here. Okay, so the part where we do not want, we're going to zoom out a little bit. We want, we do not want this whole area right here. So we're going to hold the Alt button down. We are going to, highlight the areas where we do not want, like right here. So I am going to release the Alt button down. So I'm going to get his shoes back in there, and then make this left bracket to make it smaller, and then hold the Alt button down to deselect the areas where we do not want, and then release the Alt button, get the shoe back in there. So this part is kind of the hardest part, but even though it's the most time consuming, if done right, it looks amazing. Okay, so we want to just take our time in here. I'm going to hold the Alt button down. I am going to take away this section right here. Perfect. And now that we've done all of that, what we want to do is we want to deselect from the areas away from the text. Okay, so any part that's the text, we want to take it out. So we're going to hold the Alt button down. I am going to take it out from this text right here as much as I can, so it doesn't blend into the other ones. Like this whole area is the text. I'm going to include her hand back in. Okay. Alright, and then this is the portion that's text too. I'm going to hold the Alt button down. I'm going to erase the R as much as possible. This, again, it will make it look even more amazing because it doesn't overlap with each other. Okay, perfect. I'm going to release the Alt button down. I'm going to add this part back in there as much as I can. I'm going to make it smaller. We're going to take our time. And then hold the Alt button down and then get the letters back in there. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to come over here. So let's include all these letters. So we're going to have to take all these letters out. I'm going to hold the Alt button down. Take out the R. So this will probably take another minute or so. So if you need to just pause this video and do yours, go ahead and do that. And then, let's see. Creativity can take quite a long time. So again, we're still holding the Alt button down, and then I'm gonna try to erase the letters as much as possible. So almost done. Perfect. So now I'm releasing the Alt button down. I'm making my tool extra small. Alt button down, taking out parts of E. Okay, and it does not need to be perfect, so let me just zoom out real quick by holding the control button down and the minus sign. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. So what we're gonna do after we've done all that, we are going to, this part's the most important part. You click on the small dot right there with the rectangle around it. It's called Add a Layer Mask. So we're gonna click on it, and boom, that looks pretty amazing. So now the opacity is at 47, and it doesn't look as nice. So we're gonna make the opacity close to 100% as possible. Look at that. Now because we took our time, it looks super amazing. And you want this to be as close to 100% as possible, and you can come down to this layer 1 right here, and you can make the opacity, a little bit lower to make the letter pops out even more. So because we took our time in it, it didn't really bother this whole section right here of trick or treat, and now it looks super amazing. And there you have it. So if you haven't liked the channel already, go ahead and pause the video real quick and then click on the like button or dislike button. It really does help the YouTube algorithm to suggest this to a lot more people. And again, thank you very much for your time, and I will see you in the next video.